Cole Howard.
God? Is that you?
No, it's me, Josh. Listen, Cole, I've got some news. Oh, you see, we have some big salaries to pay, and, well, we just built a whole train set. Cole, do you know how many monogrammed AD windows and doors we had to buy? So many. So, Cole, here's the thing. You're going to die.
I'm gonna die? Well, at least I'm gonna go out with a bang, right? I'm gonna get shot or stabbed on the murder mystery train? I'm an author, you know. That would be perfect.
No, Cole. We're not going to make that connection. It won't be that big of a deal. It'll be over quickly. But hey, in the end, authors never die. They just get written out.
Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 6th, 2025. Why did Cole have to die while everybody else is quietly on the French Riviera sipping champagne and forking their desserts? It is just not fair. Cole and Victoria should have been on that train. Cole would have loved a murder mystery. I mean, just think of what he would have had to say about the box of knives. I'm sure he would have come up with a lot of relevant literary references. He probably could have solved the whole Count of Monte Cristo mystery months ago. I mean, really, Y&R did a literary reference and then didn't include the one character who is an author? And then they decided to just kill the author right when the story begins? I just can't believe it. Cole is dead. Gone mid-episode on a Thursday. Victoria and Claire back at the tack house by the end of the episode. It just makes no sense. I kept waiting for Aunt Jordan to run around the corner with the antidote or something. But let me tell you, thinking back on it, I think Cole was a dead man back then because he was completely absent for Jordan's final showdown and death. His own aunt. He was gone for all of that. He had already been shipped off to Europe by then. And I just wonder if Y&R knew that he was dead meat then, too. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's my mystery. First of all, who suggested, let's kill Cole, it'll be great? Who's responsible for that decision? And at what point in the timeline was this decision made? Because Cole went on his European tour in maybe March, and then by April he had come back with the cough. So it has been planned for a while now. If he's been coughing since April, it's now July. They've clearly had this in the works for a while. But it's such a letdown. It just happened out of the blue, just all of a sudden. And now Claire can't get a hold of Kyle to tell him that her father is dead. Victoria has no one in her family around for support. And I just, when was even the last time that Victoria had a storyline? And if I was going to give her a storyline, this is not what I would envision for her. More pain. I mean, every single relationship of hers ends in some kind of tragedy. And now Cole comes along, Mr. Perfect, so wrong about keeping a nice guy around? I thought Cole had loads of potential, and it was just so clear that Y&R was not going to follow through with any of it. I mean, the scenes were well written. That part was really well done. The actors were incredible. J. Eddie Peck was so good. Right down to his last breath. I mean, what a bummer. Can you even imagine how disappointed he probably was? I mean, hey, you're coming back to Y&R after 20 years, and then within a year, dead. They could have gone in a million different directions and just chose not to. But J. Eddie Peck's social media posts were so gracious. You know, of course, he's such a sweetheart. He first came on the show in 1993, the year that I first started watching Y&R. So thanks a lot, Y&R, for bringing those early origin memories back to my mind and then killing him off. I remember he and Victoria had gotten married, and then they thought that Cole might be Victor's son, which would have made them half siblings, which is like, wow, yucky, icky, sticky. And of course, nothing's going to ruin a marriage faster than thinking your husband might be your brother. Is it any wonder I got hooked on this show with a storyline like that? But Victor, you know, turned out to not be Cole's father. Cole was too pure to be Victor's son. Cole stood up to Victor. Cole supported his wife and his daughter. Why, Y&R? Why? Cole literally took his last breath with his lips on Victoria's. She kissed him right to death. What timing. And now Cole's going to be waiting for her in heaven. That's going to be awkward because Ryan's probably there waiting too. So when Victoria passes through the gates, you know, white gown, hair flowing, she's going to see both Ryan and Cole standing there expectantly. I mean, the drama is just going to begin instantly. Victoria is going to be like, and how long does this eternity last? This week with Cole's death, it really got me thinking that I actually have at least 5 characters in my upcoming book and audiobook that are inspired by soap characters that I've loved and lost over the years. So I just kind of realized that, wow, the fauna and the flora is my place where I'm continuing on an inspired by version of some characters that I've loved over time. Anyway, I thought, well, why don't I send out my full cast list to my email peeps, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how I'm working, how it's all going to work, and who's who in the fauna and the flora. So if you love legacy characters and tragic exits, I already previewed one of the characters who you're gonna see. You should totally go sign up. Go to restlessforest.com. I'm gonna send out the cast list in 2 weeks, but if you go to that website and sign up for the email list, you'll get in on it, and on July 22nd, I'll send that out to all of my email peeps. One good thing that did come from the tragedy of Cole was that I thought Victoria and Adam had a very wonderful, surprising moment of bonding over it all. He didn't know that Cole had died, but she stopped by to check on, you know, the one family member who still remains in town. Everyone else has dropped off the grid. I mean, Victoria is practically burying Cole right now, and everyone else has been completely unreachable for days. Can you even imagine what level of anxiety that would add on top of everything? But Adam gave her the lowdown and also relayed that, you know, where she was with it all to the Newmans later. But I really appreciated the whole brother-sister support scene. It was nice not seeing them snark at each other for a little bit of a change. And I thought, maybe this could be the beginning of a friendship for them. I mean, of course it wouldn't last forever, but Nick has had his truce with Adam for quite some time, and Victoria and Adam really never got that. So I thought, wow, wouldn't it be kind of nice to see them hanging out in the future, just the two of them bonding, maybe eating pizza on the couch or something, and just realizing that they have more in common than they thought. AD bought the AC? And his motives are TBD? WTH. IDK what this all even means. That would have been my intro if Cole hadn't died. AD bought the AC. Okay, what now? Every time somebody spins through the revolving door at the athletic club, Kane's gonna walk out of the coat closet. Oh. I kind of wonder if Kane is gonna hand the athletic club over to Phyllis, because she has a history of being a hotel hostess and she was perfect at the job. I could definitely see that being a path for her again. You know, restaurant, bar, hotel, events. Phyllis. I'm not sure that's exactly the level of prestige that she was looking for, but she could get some good spying done if they'd put in a hostess stand. Yeah, this week Kane promised Phyllis that she could be on the inside of his plans to take over all of Genoa City, all of the businesses, not just Chancellor, but Newman Enterprises, Jabot Cosmetics, all of them! And if Phyllis wants in, she's gonna have to betray Nick. Ooh, gasp. Knock me over with a feather. I mean, I'm sure Sharon's gonna suss that out pretty quick. It's gonna come in between them pretty quick. Yeah. So while everyone else is back on the French Riviera, apparently stuck on this vast estate, Kane was able to pretty easily slip off the mountain and catch a flight back to Genoa City. I mean, I'm the whole week I'm thinking, is there no 911 in France or the equivalent number? Because here in America, we have 911, and I'm pretty sure that service, it works even if you don't have cell service. I'd be 911ing from my flip phone all week long just to get the heck out of there. But Kane didn't need to, no. He just slipped right back to Genoa City, right back through the doors of Crimson Lights, and slipped right into Chelsea. I mean, could he even have been more cryptic? The topic of Aristotle Dumas comes up and Kane says, "Ah, yes, Aristotle Dumas, I know him well, and soon so shall you." I mean, that's not suspicious or anything. Mr. I calculate all my moves precisely. Because she just ran right back to Adam and told him about the encounter. And they naturally assumed that it was Colin. Colin was the mystery billionaire. I mean, a quick internet search probably could have ruled him out if he had an obituary. But, you know, they were on the right track. And then Adam got on the right track. He announced, enough of this speculation. I am going to put on my white pants and I'm going to France. I mean, like, was that not the most exciting part of this whole thing? Adam bursting through the train car door, huffing and puffing, hair all messed up, looking like he just climbed a mountain, only not, but he did. Oh, man, I wanted to applaud. That was very exciting to me. I don't know why the Newmans did not bring the most capable Newman in the first place. I mean, Adam was willing to fly all the way there. He had to bribe a Sherpa. He had to trek all the way up the cliff, climb onto the train, just to bring the big news that Kane's buying up Genoa City like he's the Monopoly man. Kane came all the way back to Genoa City to meet with Holden in person. Clearly a conversation that could have happened over the phone. But Kane said, oh, I'm going to text you a list of people you need to get close with. You could have done that from France, you know. Adam and Chelsea were on the list. So was Mariah. I mean, that's going to be a tough one. If Mariah is half as vague with Holden as she is with Tessa and us, I mean, good luck getting anything out of her. And then there's Claire. Check. Already on it. I mean, just about basically everyone who wasn't in France got put onto Kane's list for Holden to get close to. Just pulling them into the storyline too. And I'm sorry to say it, but this is a mistake, Y&R. You are making an error here. You need some variety. You need some stories that are not about Kane. I would really like to see Billy Flynn succeed in this role. I would really like to be into Kane and love the story, and I'm sure it's going somewhere great. But, I mean, the fact that all the stories are about it, I mean, you're writing yourself a one-way ticket into fan exhaustion. Well, Holden decided that he was going to take his opportunity to start with Chelsea and try to ingratiate himself with Chelsea. And she saw right through it. I thought that was so great. It really reminded me of all the reasons why to love Chelsea. She was really fun in that scene. It takes one to know one, and she instantly knew a con when she saw it. And I have to say, Melissa Claire Egan was really rocking that gorgeous floral blouse. I mean, she may not have been on the French Riviera. She didn't get to have the beach clothes and all that. But I got to give her props because the blouse was beautiful. And she was able to shimmy her way into that little leather skirt. I mean, I know I couldn't do it. I should just get a t-shirt printed that says, I'm disappointed in Billy. Because I feel like I say it and feel it every week. I love Billy. I love Billy's character, and yet I feel so consistently disappointed by his decision making. I think that's really what it means to love Billy. To love Billy is to be disappointed by Billy. I mean, Abbott Communications was supposed to be his fresh start. It was supposed to be his chance to start something on his own, to prove that he is every bit the savvy Abbott as the rest of them. And now he's ready to just sign it over to his girlfriend to run while he's pursuing some vague revenge plan on Victor. It's just... I mean, don't get me wrong. I was proud of Sally this week. I thought it was very smart of her to give him an ultimatum. In fact, I was really relieved and I was rooting her on because she does need to protect herself. At this point, I'm sure that she realizes that she has made a vast error in putting all of her eggs in Billy's basket. And so she forced him to let her run Abbott Communications while he's off trying to overthrow Chancellor. But, I mean, what then, Sally? What then? Does anybody else find it extremely suspect that after Billy and Sally signed that deal on a cocktail napkin, very formal, she took the pen and she wrote on his hand, I love you. And Billy's response was, thank you for being a partner in all of this. Wait, what? Can we back up just a sec? Because I'm pretty sure that she just low-key said, I love you for the first time. and he didn't return it. I don't know what this says about the future of their relationship. Amanda is being so creepy. I don't remember her being this creepy before. Watching the cameras while Kane's away. Late night creeping around the hedges. Trying to keep everybody thrown off the scent to the fact that Kane's not even on the property. Defending Kane to Lily and Devon. And being very protective of him when it comes to Phyllis. Is Amanda sleeping with Kane or what? I don't know. I don't know what Amanda's getting out of all of this because it seems personal. She's going really above and beyond. The money can't, I mean, I'm sure the money's good, but that can't be her only motivation. Amanda and Devon had an argument, which was a really fun reminder of their fire. I mean, whether it's fury or passion, those two actors definitely have chemistry. And I'm sure that's much to Abby's dismay. Because Devon didn't get anywhere with Amanda. So he went back to that tiny, tiny train car bed that he was sharing with Abby. I'm thinking, this is luxury? That tiny, tiny bed? It was like a full-sized mattress. Two adults do not look right smushed together on a full-size mattress. But boy, Devon really brought his lower abs to the party. He said, Brighton James said, I am not gonna let Kyle and Holden upstage me in the muscle department. Every single muscle on the front of my tattooed body is defined, and I want the fans to see it, damn it. Well, I saw it, Devon, and it did not go unappreciated. How about that double dinner date with Lily and Damian and Nick and Sharon? It was two couples who are kind of sort of dating but not dating. They're dating, not dating. One can be dead, not dead, but also dating, not dating. They're dating but not ready to admit that they're dating. Lily just sat there the whole time, writhing in her chair every time anybody mentioned Kane's name, which was about once every 5 seconds. I mean, has she not learned that you catch more flies with honey anyway? I mean, Lily, come on. Why not just use Kane's clear affection and get close to him and then get whatever information it is you're looking for and go ahead and drive Damian crazy in the process? Oh, wait, am I jumping too far ahead? That'll be what happens next month. Damian put Audra on notice. He said, I see you slinking around this maze garden, cozying up to Kyle, and I don't like it. Yeah. He even accused her straight up of using this vacation as an excuse to have an affair on Nate. Go Damian. I mean, it makes sense, though, that he's the only one really capable of pulling this off because he's so captivated by Lily. He's so under Lily's spell that even Audra's intense sexual magnetism did not throw him off one little bit. I was surprised she didn't say, my neck could use some sunscreen. And then boom, just like the sex rays hit him and then suddenly he's sunscreening her instead of questioning her. But it didn't work on him. That's how powerfully in love with Lily he is. And wow, breaking news. Maybe Kyle is not such a dum-dum after all. I really enjoyed his conversation with Diane this week because Diane was trying to do that mom thing. where you try to hold in the thing you want to say. Because you don't want to be overbearing. You don't want to say it too much. But she just couldn't help herself. She laid out her entire theory about how Kyle getting involved with Audra is a really bad idea because Audra is working with Victor and Victor just wants to ruin you, Kyle, because he knows that will hurt Jack. And Kyle just said, I know. Surprise, I already know. Well, I see all the little looks between them and it's been kind of fun to watch. I thought that was delightful. Kyle's playing the game. Kyle's playing right along. Kyle's in control. Until he isn't. This is just one chapter in your story. You know who said it. But if you need confirmation of how right you are, go to yrchat.com and reveal the answer to who said this is just one chapter in your story. Let's get to some comments. T. Nicole said, my original thought was that Kyle would cheat on Claire with Audra and Nice, but that almost seems too obvious now. And Y&R is making it look like something's going to happen between them. But what if Claire cheats on Kyle first with Holden over her grief of Cole's illness or even death? Definitely death. Then Kyle comes back being the most caring boyfriend after hearing about Cole. All the while, Claire is dealing with the guilt of cheating on Kyle, but Kyle takes that as her dealing with her grief of her father. T. Nicole, that would be a heck of a switcheroo on our expectation, wouldn't it? Sue W. says, I like it, but Claire's upstanding lover boy has definitely been crossing, if not running rampantly over invisible lines with Audra. Yeah, that's true. Well, I think this is a fantastic place for a poll question this week. Who's gonna cheat first? Claire or Kyle? Or neither. That's an option too, but come on, let's be fun. Who's gonna cheat first, Claire or Kyle? YRChat.com, that's where you can cast your vote. Now, the interesting thing is, if Claire's the one that does the cheating, then it gets Kyle out of breaking the contract. He has that contract with Victor. Or, what if Claire does the cheating, there's problems between them, Victor somehow assumes that Kyle's the one that did the cheating and tries to call in the contract, and then Claire finds out about the contract and has to confess her own cheating to save him. That'd be good. All right, here we go. T. Nicole says, Cole's passing scene was so beautifully and heartbreaking, and it had me ugly crying. Oh, T. Nicole, I know. It was beautiful and heartbreaking. It was a beautiful scene. I'm just so annoyed by it. Russell says, oh my goodness, Claire has me crying my eyes out. That was brutal. Claire is amazing. You know, I agree. Of course, J. Eddie Peck and Amelia Heinley did amazing there, but the actress who plays Claire is slipping my mind right now, but she was really, really good. I loved the sweet little moment where he's like, we made the most of our moments, and Claire said, I want more moments. You know, that was so genuine, and it just really felt like, I really felt her grief. She just discovered her father. Her little story about the birthday cake wishing for her daddy, and the daddy she got was even better than she wished for. It's so heartbreaking, and she feels so unnecessary. I feel like there was more story to tell with Cole alive. I also have to say, I really liked the story that he told about watching her on the horse for the first time, and how her hair was flowing behind her and she had no fear. The way he told that was so beautiful. That was a beautifully written scene. That story that he told was well written. It was well delivered. I saw her on that horse. I saw Claire through Cole's eyes on that horse, conquering it. That moment of pride. That was a moment about fatherly pride. Brent says, did I just hear Claire complain about the doctors who didn't catch Cole's diagnosis soon enough? Are you kidding? Cole and his family took this thing way too lightly from the beginning. Cole was stubborn, but Victoria and Claire should have been far more insistent that he seek medical care. No doubt, Brent. I mean, nobody really did anything. I do think that guys can be stubborn, and women, people can be stubborn about, going to the doctor when they think, oh, it'll pass, because it's always passed before. So maybe we just need to take a lesson from that. And remember, don't let little things go, because something little could be something bigger. It's better to just go get it checked out. That's what Cole should have done, and we have to at least take a lesson from what happened there. Gary says, Cole had to go when his body failed him, as Victoria and Cole's great love is silenced. A great love with nary a love scene. This is the sophisticated way Y&R tells stories these years. Any romance content is but a back burner to the larger story of its players in a big business intrigue. Cole was not invested in all the corporate espionage, so he's the odd man out. No time for love, as the show's airtime is filled with talk of Billy plotting to get back at Victor once again for some business dynamics gone wrong, for example. On and on. Well, like Sue W., I am a fan, and as Naomi points up, enjoy the scenery. The other thing is, let me just toss this out. Y&R knows we're mad. They knew we were going to be mad. They were like, we're going to kill Cole, and the fans are going to be mad. So, I mean, they anticipate this reaction. I don't know if it's meant to, quickly get some ratings or what, but I agree that Victoria and Cole had a romance that this time around just didn't get a chance to really snowball. It just didn't last long enough for it to get there. But I just feel like Cole would have been a great character, especially as an author, especially considering what they were doing with this, very authorly, literary story they were telling right now. It's just such a missed opportunity, and I don't get it. I think you make a really good point that they're going for that plot. They're going for that business intrigue twist. Oh, Kane just bought the whole time. I mean, what's it really matter at the end of the day? Him buying the athletic club is the only thing that moves my needle. I don't care one bit about a bunch of small, business buildings that are around Newman Enterprises and Chabot and all that. And he bought some little companies that Nikki sold off. I mean, big deal. They're not a part of Chancellor. So what? I don't know. I love the drama. I love the business storylines, but I love a love scene too. And with Victoria and Cole as mature characters, drifting apart and then finding each other again after all these years, I mean, that had some real potential to really dig in there and do some slow burn loving, and they just didn't choose it. Diana says it's very sad and a real tearjerker. I'm very disappointed that Cole has been killed off the show. He hardly had a storyline. His character had so much potential. It would have been nice to see Cole and Victoria's love story develop. Gary's right. It seems like Y&R doesn't want to spend any time investing in love stories, only business ones. They give romance, but nothing very deep and meaningful at the moment. Yeah. It takes time to burn that story, to really feel a love story. You have to commit to it, and I don't think they did. It was clear that they weren't really doing anything with Cole for months now. So, and you gotta admit, the second he coughed, we were like, oh, he's dead. He's dead. We knew it the first cough that came out of his mouth. Connie says, the tack house scene that showed Cole's photo on the mantle caught my attention because I never really noticed a fireplace before today. I'm wondering if I'm just an unobservant viewer, or is that new or rarely used camera angle shot? I don't know. That's a good question. I never noticed the fireplace before, but I did notice the photo of Cole, and I thought, well, that for sure is tacked on. That's a tack house tack on. Pretty sure there was never a random picture of Cole there before, but it'll be there now forever in memoriam. Tacked on just like everything else about it. Sharon W. says, I definitely did not want Y&R to get rid of Cole. The storyline between Claire, Cole, and Victoria was a very heartwarming and charismatic storyline. To see Claire able to finally have a dad and two parents in her life was an uplifting and enjoyable story to watch. Who knows why a soap decides to end a storyline? I feel Cole has been a valuable character played by an extremely talented actor. It's been uplifting to have someone play a scene where he's such a humble, unselfish, and loving character who showed every day how thankful he was to have his family back together. What I really resented was the way they rushed Cole out on Thursday in one episode, followed by an instant reminiscing back home between Claire and Victoria. That really ticked me off. I mean, I was like, is this really happening in the middle of the Thursday episode, and then just by the end, they're back at the house mourning? It felt rushed. I completely agree with you there. And like, I was kind of looking forward to the retro idea of Cole being involved in Newman Publishing. Like, okay, Newman Media, bling, bling, bling. But it would have been cool if we actually could. I'm longing for some physical representation on the show. All of the businesses make phantom things. Media! I want something I can see. Even Chabot, who makes cosmetics, we never see a thing. So I was thinking, oh, it would be so cool if we had Cole working at Newman Publishing. Maybe we could see a newspaper, a magazine. I mean, the fact is most of the watchers of Y&R are older. We remember being able to pick up a newspaper or a magazine. So something like that, something tactile, really would have been a good use of Cole's character. Naomi says, I'm disappointed to end Cole. It did seem like a quickie death scene. I'm not sure people have the timing of their last moments that precise, but it made a very emotional scene. I cried when Victoria was in her kitchen putting the teacups in the dishwasher, and she was doing something routine and then just was overcome with sadness. When she covered her face and cried, I cried with her. That's a powerful, soapy moment. I know, but like and I agree, like the whole thing with the jacket. I mean, I'm so very sensitive to scent, and so like that, I was immediately able to connect with that moment of, oh, it smells like his aftershave, you know. And then Victoria putting the coat on Claire, and then Claire putting the coat on Victoria. That was an instant connection moment for me. But I feel like we could have had a dozen other wonderful moments with Cole alive. So yes, they had some great moments in here. Victoria crying, Claire needing to leave the room and not really being able to complete her goodbye and then feeling guilt over it. All of that was there. It's just, I want more. I wanted more. If we had to do it, I would have wanted more. Speaking of characters who are as good as dead, last week I asked you guys if you think it's a good thing. Are you accepting that Chance is leaving Y&R, or is this bad news to you? 65% of people say it's bad news, would really prefer to keep Chance around. 35% of you willing to let him go. Marianne V says, I like Chance, although he hasn't been on enough. Now with Kane trying to get Chancellor, he would have had a storyline, especially if there's a murder. But that might not happen. Would they bring Kane back as a recast just to kill him off? I doubt it. No, I mean, you're right. If there is a murder, I don't know. It could be Chance. Sue W says, I vote it's all good, but in support of the actor. I think Connor Floyd has been pretty darn great as Chancellor, but unfortunately the character has been pretty meh overall. So fly, be free, Connor Floyd. You cut your teeth on Y&R and the rest of the acting world awaits your talent. You'll be missed. That's such a sweet comment, Sue W. Yeah, I think he was meh. I don't think they really put a ton of effort into him. It's like all the characters have to be mwahaha in order to be compelling. I don't think so. Chance is another character, kind of like Cole, where he was just a little, he was sort of a, I mean, you have to have that straight character in order to let the other people be big against. So, I mean, you can't just have a cast of all mwahahas, or it's just, it's not the same. It's too much sameness. I wonder when are they going to resolve Summer's character, by the way? Is she going to have a mystery flu? Gary says, Kane is a megalomaniac. While some fans may find this exciting, I find it unrelatable. The kiss of death for me as a viewer. Yeah, I have to admit, when Kane announced that he was going after all the companies, it was a little bit like, okay. All of them, huh? Every single one, huh? Daisy says, there must be some twist in this storyline, but I'm not sure what it is. I am, though, beginning to wonder if the twist is that Kane is really Caleb. Yeah, that's right. Kane had a twin brother who died, but Daisy says maybe he didn't die and he built the empire for himself. He would have needed help, so it's possible it could be from Colin, but maybe it was Genevieve, his mother. Nearly losing him, she wanted to do something right by him, so she helped him seek, well, whatever he needed. I hope something like this is going on, because this doesn't really seem like Kane. The only thing I can think of is if this is Kane, it's something happened to Sam, and his grief has become his anger, and former friends and family will bear the brunt of who he has become. Hopefully, though, Victor has already forged a plan to stop whatever's going on, if he ever gets back to Genoa City, that is. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the Kane that we knew. That's for sure. That's the consensus. That's what everybody's saying. Not the Kane we knew. Oh, speaking of that, Stephen has got an important safety tip for us. Hiking out is an option. You're not on Everest Base Camp. Follow the tracks, through the trestle, over the chasm. It may not be for the faint of heart, but jumping is an option if a train approaches. Find a town, order up an un chauffeur privé, or select the Uber app. Available in both French et Anglais. Capiche? Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, right, if the tracks are operational, couldn't they have just hopped another train? Oh, man. Well, hey, Russell says they did do a good job with that wide exterior scene of the villa. They likely constructed that image. You can see the mountainous countryside, the train, the hedge maze, the off-limits villa. I don't see the center maze dining area, the pool, or the Harry Potter floating chandeliers, but I'm sure the show didn't expect me to pause it and study the details. Although I think I see the start of the maze where Carter led everyone at the beginning of the visit. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but probably a digitally created image. Very nice. They've used it. They have definitely made the most of it. You know, Stephen, too, in addition for how to get out of there altogether, why not try to break into the chateau? I mean, unless Kane has got, like, some armed guards up there or whatever, you could try to get into the house. Sharon W. says, Adam burst into the Newman train car looking disheveled and slightly worse for wear. After talking about the wardrobe for our characters for the last 2 weeks, Y&R missed another chance to capitalize on Adam's 3-hour walk up the mountain path, even wearing comfortable shoes, where he could have at least arrived on the scene with his shirt untied around his waist. It had to be hot on the path. And thinking ahead, maybe we don't need to see Adam tied to any woman in Genoa City. His scenes are so much better, especially when chatters are bored with Adam and Chelsea, when he's playing his scenes alone. After all, Nick has been a free agent for quite some time now, and check out what a great scene that was when the family was bonding over how to protect the Newman family moving forward. Even Nikki seemed responsive to Adam, and Victor was happy to have his 2 sons there to support him and his plan. Yeah! Why didn't Adam arrive shirtless? Oh. Victoria says, maybe with Kane trying to scoop up all of Genoa City, the Newman siblings will bond with a common goal. Adam can turn from black sheep to valued brother. It's time to bring Adam fully into the family. It was a good moment. It was a good scene. I was very excited when Adam got there. It felt dramatic. I mean, I really, it felt like the tension was there and the rush and the excitement. And, Adam, what are you doing here? You just climbed a mountain. And then to see them all bonding together and talking about what the next part of the plan is going to be, you know, surrounded by whatever Victor's got in his head, it was kind of great. Oh, Tony says, Lily is from France. She grew up in Paris and came to the show from there. No one, including Lily, has mentioned that I've heard. You know, that's so good because, I mean, thinking about how to get off of this estate, you would think Lily, with all of her time in France, might be able to come up with something. Hey, Diana says, I think Crystal Khalil is pregnant in real life, and that's why she's wearing those loose flowing dresses lately. I noticed that when she was still back in Genoa City at Nate's apartment. She's also been wearing a large handbag whenever we see her. And we all know that large purse equals pregnant person, as we saw when Melissa Ordway was pregnant. Yeah, that came onto my radar this week for the first time because like purse, okay, we see a lot of purses on the show, but this week it was purse plus floral arrangement. There was a purse and a floral arrangement blocking her belly, which seems so unnecessary at this point because there were places where the purse came away, the flower came away, and I could see her body very clearly. She didn't look pregnant to me at all, so I don't know why they would feel the need to cover up what's barely there. I don't know. Oh, well. Sharon W. says, I'm wondering why Amanda would team up with Kane in the first place, even though her paycheck is probably quite substantial. The serious discussions between she and Phyllis didn't seem to shed any light on Amanda's knowledge of Kane's plans moving forward until he confronted Phyllis to ask how far she'd be willing to go to stay on his team. Amanda's facial expressions seemed to indicate her personal allegiance to Kane. Phyllis's look of bewilderment did not stop her from telling Kane she's all in, even to the point of betraying Nick. Sharon W., there's so much there because, first of all, yeah, what is Amanda's motivation? Why is she so loyal to Kane? Why is she so upset with Phyllis? I mean, if you're friends with Phyllis, best friends with Phyllis, you might even say, wouldn't you kind of know how Phyllis is and how Phyllis operates? Wouldn't you kind of come to expect her to want to get up in there? I mean, when did Phyllis and Amanda's relationship deteriorate so greatly? Phyllis was practically blackmailing her on the last episode, and the entire time that Phyllis was talking to Kane, Amanda was in the background like, all of her faces were like, Phyllis, what are you gonna do now? And then also, I really didn't like Phyllis being so desperate that she's willing to do absolutely anything, betray absolutely anyone, whatever you want, Kane. It's just, I like fierce Phyllis. I wanted Phyllis to tell him to shove it. If you want me on your team, I'll be on your team, but you're not going to tell me what to do. I mean, the fact that he's so maniacal, that Kane is so maniacal right out the gate, it's just like, for what? I mean, what's the motivation here? What exactly is Kane's motivation here? He feels jilted because, I don't remember Kane feeling jilted. I mean, other than his relationship with Lily, he left on relatively good terms. I don't get it. What's the rub? New topic. Diana says, I am very interested in the Mariah storyline. It has become apparent, as I had suspected before, that Mariah killed the man she met because he reminded her of Ian Ward. I think she may have kissed him and then saw Ian's face before turning on him. Mariah needs to come clean with Tessa and tell her the truth. Tessa will be sympathetic and understanding. Of course she would. It was interesting that in the previews for next week, Tessa is suggesting, why don't we just make the separation permanent, which is the perfect move. If you're not going to tell me anything, if you're not going to give me anything, then we're done. What else is there to say? Robin says on the Mariah storyline, I assume that she was having drunk sex with the old guy and she murdered him by smothering him with a pillow in a rage. I'm guessing it was death by pillow because of the way she was gripping and kneading it in the flashback. Death by pillow! What a horrible way to go. Yeah, it's a crumb. It's just like, okay, well, another crumb. Her gripping a pillow. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, based on all we have to go on, which is mostly nothing. Maybe it's a combination of what Diana said and Robin said. They definitely seemed romantic-y. They seemed kissy-y, like they were about to kiss in the scene that we saw. And then the only other thing we saw was Mariah sitting there gripping the pillow. So maybe it was kissy, and then flash, she sees Ian Ward's face, and then he has to die death by pillow. Oh, final note's a happy one. Diana says, I look forward to Danny and Christine's wedding, as I'm sure Christine will accept his proposal. I hope this means they will be staying on the show for a while and given some storylines. Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna can we focus on some romance? Is that possible? I would love to have some more Danny and Christine romance. I mean, I'm looking forward to the proposal next week. I can't believe how good Chris looks. I know I say it every time, but like I realized this time that what it is that she always looks so moist. Like her skin. I guess that's the key to continuing to look young. It's to look just like fresh out of the shower. Hair's completely dry, but the skin must always look dewy. Oh my goodness. Dewy. Well, I have done my part for the Y&R Chat. I think it's time for you to go to yrchat.com and leave your comments. What are you thinking about the show? What are you thinking about the chat? How do you vote in the poll? Would you like to see some pictures of Devon's lower abdominals? All of it at yrchat.com. And if you want to sign up for my email list and see the full cast list for the Fauna and the Flora, the book and audiobook, go to restlessforest.com. That website has my announcement about the novel and also the email sign-up form, so restlessforest.com. And I hope that you guys come back next week to chat again about the Kane show. YNRNCAD. Everybody have a good week. I love ya, and I'll see you next time. Bye.